This video is dedicated to the men and women who have sacrificed their lives in defense of our freedoms and the families they have left behind. Gold Star families is a term we use to describe various service organizations which honor and assist grieving family members of the U.S. military who have made the ultimate sacrifice while serving on active duty. In 1917, the United States entered World War I. George Siebold was 23 years old. He volunteered, requesting assignment in aviation. George was sent to England, where he learned to fly. He left with his 148th Aero Squadron comrades for combat duty in France. Soon after that, his mother, Grace Siebold, stopped getting letters from George. On October 11, 1918, a box arrived, marked Effects of Deceased Officer First Lieutenant George Siebold. Grace had been holding out hope against hope that George would have survived, but faced with the grim reality of his death as a war hero, she decided that self-contained grief is self-destructive. She decided to devote her time and efforts to working in hospitals helping wounded war veterans and to helping other mothers whose sons had lost their lives in service. Grace organized a group of these special mothers, giving aid and comfort to each other and to hospitalized veterans far from home. On June 4, 1928, 25 such mothers established the American Gold Star Mothers. That gold star refers to the placement of a gold star over the blue star on the service flag, denoting a family member with members serving on active duty in the event of death of that family member. The Gold Star service flag recognized the honor and glory accorded to that fallen hero for his or her supreme sacrifice for the good and welfare of our country. The organization, the American Gold Star Wives, followed, as did the American Gold Star Children. Other organizations assisting families of fallen heroes are Survivors Outreach Services, SOS, Tragedy Assistance Program for Survivors, TAPS, with sister organizations with different names in all branches of service. The following video is from an interview with just one mother of a fallen hero, Beth Agami, but there are sadly many other such heroes who gave their last measure of true devotion to this country, and over 86,000 survivors at last count. Beth Agami is symptomatic of all mothers and families generally who have lost a son or daughter in combat or as a result of war service. She is not offered as the epitome of those unfortunate family members, but only as one woman's story as she has learned to cope with her new reality. Her strength and courage come from her religion and her faith in God Almighty, and from her strong family support system. The JWV Foundation honors and pays due tribute to all Gold Star families.
My name is Beth Agami, and I'm the Gold Star mother of Specialist Daniel Agami. Daniel was 23 years old when he enlisted. Ever since the 9/11 attack, terror attack, he wanted to do something to make a difference. That was a decision that we were very proud of. His job, basically, he was like the gunner or a driver in the Bradley tanks. And on June 21st, 2007 was the day, the unfortunate day that he was killed on. He was the driver in the tank. They were all killed by an IED. I got the news about that. That was delivered to me in person to my front door by two servicemen. That's when I went from a Blue Star mom to becoming a Gold Star mom. Every day that they're serving, it's their sacrifice, it's the family sacrifice, it's the not knowing from day to day, where is this leading to, what could potentially happen. And especially in a job like what Daniel had, he was like on the front lines. He really enjoyed his job so much that he re-enlisted for 4 more years. So for him, it was going to be his career. This type of a death really is very public, and especially when you're Jewish, because it affects the whole Klal Yisrael, all of the Jews around the world, and I want his memory to stay alive. I want people to remember who he was and the sacrifice that he made. And the only way to do that is to be a part of those events and programs and to be seen. And I appreciate everything, especially when the Jewish war veterans, they made that post, dedicated after these 3 soldiers. I mean, this is like huge. This is a big thing for us. And these are the types of things that we truly appreciate. And of course, my husband too, we just were thrilled about it. When we found out that he was going to be deployed to Iraq, my family, Itzik, my daughter, and myself flew to Germany, and we spent a little over a week with him. When we were there, we noticed that many of the other soldiers didn't have any family there with them. And so we tried to hang out with everybody over there and just spend time with all of those guys. And so many of them didn't come home. He told my husband in the car on the way bringing him back to the airport that if anything should happen to him, he wanted to be buried at a Jewish cemetery. And it's like, don't even go there. That's ridiculous. Don't talk like that. Unfortunately, it was very soon after that. That was in April, and then in June, he was killed. You know what? I've always been a religious person, one of those people. I just believe if it's your day, it's your day, no matter what. On June 21st, no matter where Daniel would have been in the world, no matter what he was doing, that was the day that God needed him. And emotionally or psychologically, I should say, that's pretty much how I deal with it. My husband too. It's not easy. That doesn't make it like easy. It's just, it makes it easier. We know that no matter what, Daniel is in a good place. The Jewish community, not only locally, but around the world, have been incredible. Just Daniel's funeral alone, there were over 2,000 people. And I mean, from everywhere, every corner of the earth. It was just it was the largest funeral ever held at that particular cemetery. I'm a member of the American Gold Star Mothers Organization. So we have events and we get together. There's a few other actually Jewish Gold Star mothers in our area here. So we kind of have a little connection and relationship. It's nice to know that we can help each other. So one day he was on his base and his captain or some higher up came running after him and said, Daniel, get your things together. We're choppering you out. And he was like, why me? Who am I? I'm nobody here. I'm like, why me? Why would you need me specifically to be choppered anywhere? Gets flown into Baghdad, into Saddam Hussein's palace. But the point of that visit was to light the 12-foot menorah that was in the castle, because they were doing a menorah lighting and a Christmas tree lighting there. So that's why they flew him in. You just know there's nothing you can do to bring them back. And you just have to work with veterans and, just do things that in their memory and in their honor. There's a lot of resources out there for people that are having a really, really, really difficult time with it, understandably. And there's programs like TAPS. There's SOS, that's a Survivor Outreach Services, and they offer all kinds of programs to help get through that. For some people, it's a lifetime, and for some people, it might just be in the beginning, but, we learn to just live our new normal every day. That's how we move on.